Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey, and I hope you're having a great time out there on this Tuesday. Is that what day it is? I have no freaking idea. Yeah, on this Tuesday, June 10th. Man, year's almost halfway over. How many are like, thank God? What a year we've had, man. I didn't know what I was going to talk about tonight. I was playing video games with Satsu and looked at the time like, oh, damn, I should probably do a show. So I did what I do. Went over to Twitter, said, what the hell's up? And well, more of the same, I guess. I almost immediately I saw three things that were like, yeah, this is stuff I want to talk about. So let's jump in there and do it. And man, goodness. No thanks on that. Thank you, CNN, for getting in my way there. The theme we'll get to in a minute, the title, the Ben Shapiro thing, but we've been following the story of J.K. Rowling getting in trouble for suggesting that the word for people who menstruate is women. Yeah, we talked about this the other day on Twitter. She responded to a post that said something to the effect of, we got to make it a more fair world post COVID-19 for people who menstruate. And she's like, didn't we have a word for that? And a whole bunch of people jumped on and called her a transphobe. You're a transphobe. How dare you suggest only women have periods? Because it's true. I'm not sure how that works exactly. I know there's some nonsense out there about, men having periods and there being transgender women are still women. You know what? You can have all that nonsense argument that you want. You really can. But when it comes down to it, biologically, women have periods. That's just fact. You don't have to like it. You can be all mad and be like, you're saying I'm not a real woman. Well, if you're a trans woman, I'm sorry, you're not. It's not mean. It's just fact. I'm happy to call you a woman. I'm happy to use the female pronouns. I'm happy to treat you as a woman in every other way except for lying about your biology. And I don't understand why that's a problem. You know who does see it as a problem? The boy who lived. Daniel Radcliffe, you guys, the guy who played Harry Potter in the Harry Potter movies, has a problem with what Miss J.K. Rowling said about, women being the ones having. This really does. It blows my mind that it's controversial to say that women have periods. How is that controversial in any fucking way? Bon, thank you so much for the sticker. I got to go over here to see which one it was. The How's It Going pair. Thank you very much. How you doing today? Hope you're staying safe out there. Anyhow, let's get to where this fucking moron starts talking. What J.K. Rowling's, this isn't him, this is somebody else. What J.K. Rowling is saying is harmful and dangerous, and the trans and non-binary witches and wizards deserve to feel welcomed. And I love Harry Potter community, damn it, actress Tessa Netting wrote. I don't know who she is. Don't really care. Radcliffe, who doesn't have a public presence on social media, wrote a heartfelt response to Rowling's comment in a blog post for the Trevor Project, a nonprofit devoted to suicide prevention among LGBTQ plus youth. Transgender women are women, he wrote. Any statement to the contrary erases the identity. Stop. All right. If you're going to ignore biology, seriously, if you're ignoring biology, you've just erased that person. That's actually erasing them. That's saying what they are doesn't exist. And we're going to go with what they feel in their head. And you know what? If you want to do that, do it. Be fine. But stop suggesting biology is wrong. Anyway, it erases the identity and dignity of transgender people. Oh my God. Can anybody find me a transgender woman who has ever had a period? Anyone. Just one. That's all I need. One transgender woman who's had a period. Just give me one. No? Nobody? And I realize that there's nobody here to talk to me and it's just a chat in there to respond. But seriously, name me the transgender woman who's had a period. And I will back down on my assertion that J.K. Rowling is right here. Yeah, because it doesn't fucking happen. Oh my God. It erases the identity and dignity of transgender people and goes against all advice given by professional healthcare associates who have far more expertise on this subject matter than either Joe Rowling or I. Let's goes against all advice given by professional healthcare associations. All right. Is there a single healthcare professional out there who tells transgender women that they need to worry about menopause? Is there a single healthcare professional out there who tells transgender women they need to worry about getting pregnant? A single healthcare professional who tells women that they may bleed monthly from their vagina? A single one. Just one. That's all I need. Give me the doctor and then give me the transgender woman who's having her period, because I'm interested in both of these things. If you have a doctor that's telling you as a trans woman that you need to worry about menstruation, you need a new doctor. Because as a trans woman, you still need to worry about your prostate, not your ovaries at all. Your ovaries, your womb, you don't have to worry about those. You know why? I'll give you a big hint. You don't have to worry about things that you don't have. Trans women do not have periods. Now, trans men was just brought up. Okay. Still biological. The biological argument doesn't go away. You are still biologically a woman if you're a trans man, period. You're still going to get a period. You know why? Because you were born a girl. You don't have to like it. You can do everything to argue against it, but it doesn't change reality. It does not change science. All you motherfuckers who want me to start believing in global warming, some shit that's only been around for a few decades, you want to ignore hundreds of years of actual science, documented science. You don't even need science for this. You just need your fucking eyes. Nobody born a man has a period. Period. They just don't. Just because you're taking some hormones and you get a nice little gay beard on your face doesn't mean you're actually a man. And I'm sorry, it just doesn't. Buck Angel still has to worry about ovaries rather than prostate because we're biologically different things. I hate these people. I really do. I fucking hate them. This doesn't help. Going out there and lying and pretending things are not what they actually are doesn't help. Delusion doesn't help. Rowling has not issued an apology, though in a follow-up to her tweet on Saturday, she wrote in, quotes, words that she had been called as part of the backlash, including witch and TERF, which stands for trans exclusionary radical feminist. She wasn't excluding anybody. You know who excluded people? Mother Nature or God, whichever you prefer. You pick. J.K. Rowling isn't stopping trans women from having periods. She's not responsible for trans men having periods. She's just noticing fact. Anyhow, what is she excluding them from? Buying tampons? How dare you, J.K. Rowling? You won't let those dudes, I'm sorry, those people, because you're not allowed to say dudes, even if you mean it gender non-specific. So I need to clarify there. I didn't mean dudes as in they have penises, although most of them do. I meant dude as in dude, really. JK she wasn't trying to exclude you from anything other than pointing out that, yeah, women are the ones who have periods. We've gotten that fucking retarded in this society here where that's how we talk. Instead of saying women, we say people who have periods. Like, I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what'd you say? People who have periods. You mean women? That's what you mean. Just say it. There's nothing wrong with saying it. It's not an insult. Boban, thank you for the GG hippo. It's very kind. He's so cute. It's not exclusionary. It's life. You know what? Sometimes you don't make the team. And trans women, I just got to be honest here. From what I've seen of periods, and I've been married for a long time and I've raised a daughter, they don't seem fun. You're not missing out on anything. You're really not. And by the way, trans men, just calling yourself a trans man doesn't stop that period, does it? You still have to worry about it, don't you? Until you get that stuff scooped out. Thank you, ex-Bubba Hotep. Health advice. If you are bleeding from your dick, go see your doctor immediately. Right? And, I missed one from Pinkalo last night. I'm so sorry. What about Foghorn Leghorn and Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Explain the bullet science. Oh, this goes back to the changes they're making to the Looney Tunes. I don't know why that just came through. Oh, this came through during Lords of the Night, and I don't keep this open, and I didn't see that I had one. I'm sorry, Pinkalo. Thank you so much for the donation. Yeah, because we talked about it on there too. It's absolutely asinine that we have to pretend. We're playing make-believe. I keep talking about how we're treating everybody like children, and this is it. We're playing make-believe. And then with the restorative justice where you just have them talk down or sit down and talk about their feelings. That's what you do with kids. We're treating people like fucking kids all across the spectrum. Stop it. Start treating adults like adults. A trans woman is adult enough to know she doesn't have a period, or she should be. A trans man should be adult enough to know that they still have a period because they were born a woman. It's not exclusionary. It's simple science. It's just a fact. Facts aren't exclusionary. They just are. I can't believe she's not saying I have a period. She's saying I'm not a woman because I don't have a period. It's not what she's saying. She's saying the name for people who do have a period is woman, and she's not wrong. Charming Cthulhu says, yeah, and they're adults enough to take criticism. They should be. They really should be, but they often aren't. That's a problem. And we got to stop treating them like children. Got to stop treating everybody like children. It's not good for us. We need people to grow up. Ex-Bubba Hotep, thank you so much. Well, they did kill reality on South Park. I feel like we killed it a long time ago. Reality is a good thing, guys. Come back to it. And thank you for the GG hippo again, Boban. Thank you very much. Damn, another one. Blondie, what happened? There's another. Blondie has another. What's it called? Protest. That's the word I was looking for. Protest. Now I want to talk about the liberals and how they don't like Jews. And that's probably not the best way to start this conversation. Democrats and liberals these days, they really hate the Jews, man. I don't know why. I don't know what they got against them, but they don't like him. And Ben Shapiro is like one of their least favorite Jews. So we're going to watch something Ben said, and then we're going to talk about the things being said about him saying it. I have to get rid of this border because I still haven't fixed it. And, can we start that at the beginning? All right. So This is, I'm guessing, from his show today. I didn't watch it, but this is a clip going around. I don't have Jack here, so somebody in chat, when it first starts, as soon as you can, let me know. Can you hear it? We're gonna do a test real fast.
Now, Clay, it does make me wonder whether.
Okay, were you guys able to hear that? The reaction to this has just been absolutely asinine, and one of the, thank you guys, they hear it. One of the biggest arguments I ever got into, this was more than a decade ago when I was still on the Bill Maher message board, was that I said liberals these days don't like Jews. And they're, how dare you? We just don't like Israel. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how many Jews you don't like in America because you don't like Israel, and how you go to some, let's call them stereotypes, shall we? But let's watch this real quick. He's talking with Clay Travis from Fox Sports Radio.
Inevitably, we're going to end up with basically two sports leagues. Whether at some point people are just going to want a sports league that does not allow this sort of stuff to impede the play or get on the field. And people are just going to view that, because I got to say, like, I've been fairly tolerant of this stuff in terms of watching sports my entire life. There are only a couple of times where I've really turned off the TV. One was
now, his idea there that there would be two sports leagues is just insane, because it's not going to happen, because this stuff's going to infest anything that happens. But I get what he's getting at. He doesn't want politics in his sports. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
When it came to Sports Illustrated, I was a lifelong subscriber to Sports Illustrated. My parents gave it to me for my bar mitzvah. I had Sports Illustrated subscription for like another 10, 12 years. I used to keep the old issues in a box. I mean, that's how much I enjoyed it. And then when they decided, you know what, it's important for us to feature Caitlyn Jenner on the cover, when Bruce Jenner had not been an actual athlete for 3 decades.
Now he's going to get in trouble for that one. I haven't seen anybody whining about that part yet, but how dare you suggest that somebody who hasn't been an athlete for 3 decades and we're only celebrating him because he put on some titties shouldn't be on the cover of a sports magazine.
And all of a sudden I'm reading about transgenderism in Sports Illustrated. I was like, okay, I'm done. I can't do this anymore, because this has nothing to do with sports. And I subscribe to a sports magazine. I'm not doing this anymore. And the other is during the Kaepernick protest, when it became incumbent on people to somehow approve of the hands up, don't shoot symbology that was being put out by particular players. I'm tempted to do the same with the NBA now that you have.
We need to stop and talk about this one more time. The kneeling had fuck all to do with Ferguson, hands up, don't shoot, none of this. That all started because Colin Kaepernick wanted out of his contract. You can watch the timeline happen. He started sitting when he got into a fucking fight with management because he didn't like that he got benched, and he wanted to become a free agent, and they told him no. So he started his fucking protest, sitting on the bench, and then somebody told him, you know, if you take a knee, you can actually make this look like you're doing it for something other than your own greed, you shitbag.
You have LeBron James, who was willing to basically virtue signal on behalf of the communist Chinese government, but rip Drew Brees. It's getting to the point where I don't want to watch sports. My place of comfort has been removed from me, and it may not be restored until there are actual sports leagues that remove politics from the sports. Okay.
So there you go. That's what he said. And oh boy, the number of people. He doesn't actually watch sports. Thank you, Boban, for the hype hippo. I appreciate it. And over on the Streamlabs, I heard that one ding too. That must have been somebody subscribing, because I don't see a donation. So anyway, if there is a donation, I apologize. Let me know and I'll check it again in a minute. Oh boy, so much to unpack. Again, I understand what he's saying, but I do have to say, nobody had a problem, or at least not many people had a problem after 9/11 when Go America went into the sports leagues. Boban, thank you for the thumbs up. Nobody had a problem with that, and that is political. And I understand why. It's patriotic, and so people like Ben are like, that's fine. I didn't mind. But we are at a different level here. We're at a slightly different level here. You're talking about, instead of people just standing up and going, yes, this is a great country, people going, fuck this place. I'm going to throw a fit like a child because I'm a millionaire who thinks black people can't get rich. I can't even say it. I'm a millionaire who thinks black people can't get rich. You're a fucking retard, LeBron. But LeBron did come out and stood up for the Chinese government because it was one of the NBA owners who was like, I don't feel like we should really be dealing with these shitbags. And everybody, oh, how dare you? How dare you? I'm talking about the Chinese. And I'm not talking the Chinese people, Chinese government. And they're like, oh, how dare you? They're great people. Just because they take dissidents and shoot them in the back of the head and they're never heard from again, just because they take all of their Muslims and put them in re-education camps where they can work them literally to death, that's no big deal. And put some mouse ears on it. Make it all better. I understand. He doesn't like the politics that he disagrees with in there. And I get it. And I think it has gone too far. I agree with the Caitlyn Jenner thing. Caitlyn Jenner being put on the cover of Sports Illustrated because he suddenly got boobies when he's literally hadn't been relevant in sports for decades, since the 70s. Like, oh, we need to celebrate this old dude getting titties. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't believe Bruce Jenner is actually trans. I think he was just trying to find his way to up the Kardashian clan, because that's how they work. You got to one up somebody, and he's like, well, fuck it, I'm getting titties. Plus, he was trying to get out of killing that woman. Thank you, Boban, again for the "You Are Amazing." I like that one. "You Are Amazing" pair sticker. I appreciate that. Awful time to be awake right now. Oh, I'm sorry, Alyssa. I like this time of night, actually. I'm a night owl. I was born very, very early in the morning. I was born just after midnight, and I've always just been this way. I enjoy the night. I don't hate the day. I just enjoy the night. Now, the reason I brought this up isn't necessarily even to talk about Ben's opinion here. I want to talk about some of the other stuff, some of the people talking about it. And there's a whole bunch of it with people like, he can't watch sports. Well, why not? Do Jews not watch sports? What do you mean he doesn't watch sports? How do you know? What is it about Ben that tells you he doesn't watch sports? Is it the yarmulke? I'm betting it's the yarmulke. I'm just throwing that out there. Jews don't watch sports. Now, I will say I'm assigning this to them because nobody so far has come out and went, fuck that Jew, because they're smarter than that. But I'm sorry. They just don't like, they're going to a Jewish stereotype. They're going to a Jewish stereotype. Thank you, Gamer Valine. Need budget, Jack? I'm 23% cheaper. No, I'm good. Jack has a link if he wants to show up. If not, I think this is going to be a shorter show tonight. My voice needs a rest. I overdid it yesterday a little bit. The game stream went quite long, and my I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's strained. So this is going to be a shorter one. Every time I've ever said that, it ends up being the long show. So settle in, guys. We'll see what happens. I just love this. It's everybody attacking him, and not the things he says, not the stuff that he says about it, but because he can't be watching sports. Well, why not? There's a Jewish stereotype that they don't watch sports. No, that they don't play sports, that they're not into that kind of thing. Which is weird because that's not even close to true. But yeah, they're, especially somebody like Little Ben there. How could Little Ben like sports? Lots of dudes like sports who you would never expect like sports. Now, if you go to the internet, there's a lot of people who seem to hate sports. But I mean, if you grew up in a traditional family in the U.S., chances are you watched a lot of fucking sports. Blondie says because he's 5'5". You know, I don't think that's what it is at all. I really don't. And just like any time the left gets to go after a black person, give them a chance to go after a Jew, man. They will make the most anti-Semitic actual neo-Nazi look like a Jew lover. They bash the fuck out of Jews all the time. All the time. and get away with it. Absolutely get away with it. To the point where Ilhan Omar thought it was okay to be Jew bashing in Congress. And they're like, hey, we got to keep that on the down low. Just say Israel. If you just say Israel, you can bash Jews all you want. It's funny, man. It really is if you pay attention. But just like with the black vote, they really do need the Jew vote. So they're very careful about how they bash Jews. Now, the final one I want to watch tonight that I have set up that I want to talk about, Blunty Blondie says, because they are the real racists. Yes. Yes, absolutely. And there's going to be people, how dare you? Yeah, it's true. Sorry. The left is the real racist. Does that mean there's no racists on the right? No, absolutely. There's racists on the right. But if you want to be a racist, I'm going to help you guys out. If you want to be a racist, become a lefty. You will fit right in. You really will. You can sit there and talk shit about black people. All you got to do is wait for one. Wait for one to say something that you're like Terry Crews the other day. Go out there and get them. A Jew, Hispanic, anybody. You can go after them as soon as they say the thing that when they're not saying what your pasty white ass tells them to say, you can go get them. And you can say horrible things about them. Yeah, if you want to be an open racist, go to the left, man. Chicago Mike, thank you. Need some light reading? Here's this leaflet of famous Jewish sports heroes. Fair enough. Fair enough. That doesn't mean Jews don't like to watch sports, though. Jesus. Not to you. I'm saying that to these people. Come on. He doesn't watch sports. The number of people, this guy doesn't watch sports. How the fuck do you know? Are you standing outside his window? Shut the fuck up. You guys didn't know I watched sports till I talked about it, for fuck's sake. Just because Ben doesn't talk about it, Jesus Christ. And actually, Ben has talked about it before. Now YouTube tells me you're streaming. Oh, I must be past my opening. Yeah, man, they call my buddy and Uncle Tom all the time. Oh, sure. Ask Pat when your boy Pat's in chat sometime. Ask him the names he gets called. Yeah, he doesn't think right. He's one of them bad Negroes. So it's okay to say all kinds of horrible shit to him and about him. Just you just got to choose your timing, racist. Go out there, be a lefty. You can be as racist as you fucking want. And it's really fucking sad. It's disgusting is actually what it is. But hey, they're the ones that the media will tell you they're not the racist. It's those damn Republicans. It's those damn conservatives. Yeah. Pay attention to who says what. Pay attention to who says what. All right. This one I've never heard of this guy before. And I'm watching this video of his. It says, to the self-serving white leftist enablers of the BLM movement. And the video is awesome, actually. I enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed it. I don't think lefties will enjoy it though. Sorry, I'm having problems on my screen over here. Gotta stop sharing for a second. Why did this pop up? There we go. Man, I need a producer. I will get your stream. Well, let's do that right now since I've already seen it. The Harry Channel, thank you. People on the left commonly suffer from the bigotry of low expectations. In the presence of a person of color, just watch them talk down to them. They've done studies. It's a real thing. That's true. There was a study a big study that came out, maybe a year ago where they talked about this. And yeah, it was ridiculous. But anyway, thank you for the donation. And let's watch this one.
To the self-serving white leftist enablers of the Black Lives Matter movement. You fall all over yourselves claiming to care about minorities, but actions speak louder than words. And since your words are proven to be nothing but hollow platitudes, it is now your turn to listen to mine.
This is the point where this is what I was talking about. If you want to be a racist, go over to the liberal side of the liberal, I'm using air quotes, the liberal side of things. And you can call this man all kinds of words now because he's about to say this.
You spend more time obsessing over not being racist than actually helping to restore the Black community, or better yet, spending a single moment in person with us in the trenches working to fix what's broken.
Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. You can't say that to me. I'm one of the good ones. Yeah. He's not wrong about this. He missed a part there that I wish he would have got. So you spend more time talking about not being racist. He missed the part while actually still being racist. I wish he'd have tossed that in, but otherwise.
You refuse to call out the violent behavior and rioting that leads to further loss of black life. You quite literally say you don't really care about black lives at all. You're the first ones encouraging us to destroy our own communities, but you know full well that after the deed is done, you get to go home while we are left to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, we've been talking about that with the riots, and it's funny to me how many liberals just don't get this. There was a factory down there in Minneapolis. I forget the name of it, and maybe I'll pull the story up in a minute. But it got burned down during the riots. And the owner is like, yeah, I'm not rebuilding here. I'm not rebuilding the factory here. And the reason for it is because as his fucking factory's burning down, the firefighters are right there. But they're too afraid to do anything because every time they tried putting out a fire that night, they were getting shit thrown at them. And the police, who were also right there, weren't doing anything about it. So they just sat there and all watched the building burn down. He's like, if you're not going to protect my business, why would I rebuild here? So that's jobs. I'm fairly sure well-paying jobs because this was they make plastics that are used in all kinds of things. They make a polymer. They're using all kinds of things and they're leaving. And a lot of businesses are going to do that. And this is what happens when there's a riot and you burn down a city. Shit doesn't come back with a fucking insurance check. Those people go away. They take those businesses and they move them to a safer area. And then people are like, why won't people bring jobs to this area? It's a depressed area now. Yeah, because you burned the fucker down, dumbass. You made it dangerous to do business there.
We have to deal with the consequences. We no longer have grocery stores. We no longer have jobs. We are worse off than when we started while you are unaffected.
True. Preach it, my brother. This is when I was watching this first time, I'm like, yes, exactly. Fucking exactly. It's exactly what we've been talking about. It's just one of those things where it's nice to hear somebody else say it, especially somebody who's going to be affected by it. This is what I was saying when the Target burned down. Like, where are these people going to get groceries now? Where are they going to go get diapers? But don't worry. Those leftists care. Because remember, white supremacy is so dangerous. You need to be out there in the streets with a whole bunch of people around you in the middle of a fucking deadly pandemic.
We're sick and tired of you coming to us with your hat in your hands, apologizing for your non-existent white privilege, and expecting us to thank you for your pity so you can feel good about yourself.
That part right there, so true. That's what this is. So much of it is just so that they can stand there and go, but I am one of the good ones, as Johnny just said a minute ago. I'm one of the good ones. I'm so sorry. There were fucking white people washing black people's feet and apologizing to them. If you wrong somebody, apologize. If you haven't, then you have nothing to apologize for. Being born white is not a crime. It's not something you need to apologize for. Now, I'm willing to bet many of the people who were down there washing feet have been racist in their lifetimes. But they're not apologizing for what they should be apologizing for their own actions. They're out there virtue signaling and telling all white people are racist. Bullshit. Fucking nonsense. And we'll read a story about that in a little bit. Gamer Bleen, thank you. My engineer from Iran and works with guys in Israel. He doesn't care. The PC police are the issue. Then again, he got a PhD to join us. He's taking his citizenship test this year. Well, good luck to him.
Pity doesn't help. Pity isn't what we need right now. You sit there behind a screen posting a little black square thinking you did something halfway constructive, when in reality, the only reason you posted that was so you could feel good about yourself and to look good in the public spotlight.
Is this dude spot on or what? I mean, he's hitting them with a fucking blast of cold air. When this is done, I'll put his link into chat. I should have done that beforehand, but Yeah, he ain't pulling no punches here.
But in reality, it changes nothing, it does nothing, and it helps no one. We understand the sentiment and honestly do appreciate it, but you must understand how worthless an Instagram post is at the end of the day and how little it actually changes.
I love that he specifically hit Instagram, especially with all the fake. I'm sorry, guys. I should just let this play, but I can't help it. With all the fake Instagram pictures and shit we've seen, like, look how much I care. Most of them didn't even stay for whatever riot or building that was going on. They were just posing for pictures.
Where is your condemnation of the riots? Where are your calls for peace? Where's your support of the police trying to prevent the further destruction of our communities? You have exchanged the chains of physical slavery for shackles to the government. Our communities get destroyed and we're forever left in a state of dependence just to simply survive. Food stamps, financial aid, burnt out housing, and broken down buildings. That's our modern day slavery.
Again, I mean, he's not wrong even a little bit. He's not wrong even a little bit. This is what Minneapolis is looking forward to for the next decade. This is what several cities that have been, or at least portions of cities that have been broken and burned and looted are going to look forward to for the next decade. And all these fucking white savior bitches out there who are like, I posted a black thing and I didn't tweet all day that day. What'd you accomplish? How about go out there and help clean up? Oh, wait, that's racist. We saw that the other day with people trying to clean up. Not just the ones getting rid of graffiti, but cleaning up the mess. Stop it. That's racist. I'm like, what? No. If you want to help, this is what's needed. If you want to help, stopping the violence is what's needed. Because it's not hurting Whitey. It's not hurting the man. It's hurting the black communities that it's happening in. For fuck's sake.
Now to the many good-hearted white people out there, we don't hate you. We need you. We see your hearts and we love you. Your actions do not go unnoticed. Don't ever let anyone make you feel like you have to go out of your way to prove that you're the upstanding person you know yourself to be.
Good point. And a very good point. This is why if somebody calls me racist, I tell them to go fuck themselves. Because sometimes, monkey, you're racist. No. I expect the same of black people as I expect of Hispanic people, as I expect of white people. And if that's not being held to in any way, especially when it's done under the guise of this is how black people are, no, I'm not apologizing for that because you're actually being the racist. Go fuck yourself.
We need you in this with us, and for those that step in, we're forever grateful. But to those enablers of the Black Lives Matter movement who continue to tacitly endorse the destruction of my people in the name of social justice, just know that I'm on to you. We're on to you. And the reason that upsets you is because you can't stand the fact that we will no longer let you look us in the eye and tell us that you have any privilege over us. We won't acknowledge that you are better than us in any way, and you hate it because we're finally waking up and breaking your chains. I'm Nuani Felder, and that was absolutely nothing but common sense.
I wish he was right there at the end, because that part I think he got wrong. Unfortunately, there's too much to be gained politically by telling black people how disadvantaged they are, how they can never make it. There's too much to be gained from that. And there's a whole lot of our population that doesn't pay attention to politics all that much. They only pay attention when something big happens. And so they only get one little chunk, and usually from a really bad source like CNN. And so they watch it like, oh my God, Negroes are being killed in the street every day. It's not true. It's not true. Negroes are being killed at a higher rate than blacks or than whites. Not true again. When you look at the actual numbers, the ones that matter, it doesn't matter. The breakdown of white and black, it's not a white-black thing. It's a police interaction thing. That's what it comes down to. The number, it's per 10,000, 3 blacks are killed, 4 whites are killed. That's with police interaction. But what they do is they go, look at the total population. Well, that's not how you judge crime statistics. It's not how you judge crime statistics, because if you're going to do that, then you have to look at all kinds of other uncomfortable things you really don't want to talk about. Real quick, Officer Buck, thank you. Joking. So he's a MAGA supporter then? Actually, he is. If you go to his page, I believe he is a MAGA supporter. Yeah, he's wearing a MAGA hat in his picture. In Chicago, Mike, thank you. Weren't the riots mostly done by Antifa and they're mostly a white group? Mostly? No. I would say they were a part of it. BLM was still definitely involved here. Antifa may have helped antagonize things. We know they were antagonizing things. They were literally paying people to get involved in stuff. Hey, Becca, how you doing, sweetheart? But mostly, I don't know if we can say it that way. Hang on, I got to do some producer stuffs over here. This is why I need a producer, because it gets me distracted off the things I want to do. But yeah, those were the three things that I saw when I first got over to Twitter. And all of them made me go, I need to talk about this. The first two, because Jesus fucking Christ, are you kidding? And the third one, because yeah, he's right. When these riots finally die down, when everything goes back to, I'm using air quotes, normal, it's not the white people on Twitter who are going to have to deal with this. It's not the white people over on Facebook that have to deal with this. It's not the politicians taking a knee in Washington that have to deal with this. It's the people in those communities. It's the people who have to wake up there and feed their kids there, clothe their children. And you just destroyed a whole bunch of fucking businesses. Officer Buck, thank you. Oh, I was joking because I thought the lefties call him a MAGA supporter so they wouldn't have to listen to him. No, he actually is a MAGA supporter, apparently. He's right. You're not helping black people by supporting this at all. And you can sit there and pat yourself on the back for being one of the good ones. And there's a few people I know on Twitter this way, people that I actually know. And you guys, it's actually kind of disgusting. Because you're not going to go out there and help them rebuild. You're not going to go out there and open a new business to make up for the ones that left. You're just cheering destruction. And you're doing it on a nonsensical basis. You're doing it based on evidence you know is false. Evidence you know is false. Oh, it's not a good time to bring up that, though. It's not, right now is not the time to talk about what happens to white people, you guys. Well, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Because right now you have people burning down fucking cities, destroying them, out there making a complete ass of themselves in the name of racial justice that we already have. Does that mean, again, this doesn't mean that there's no racism out there. You'd have to be an absolute fucking retard to think there's no racism, especially if you pay attention to Democrats, because they're racist. But the systemic racism that they talk about doesn't exist. And it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help George Floyd to sit there and lie about systemic racism. In fact, it does him a disservice. Over on the Streamlabs, thank you, Johnny Hellcat. I posted a quote from Pat on my Facebook page and got called out for being racist. And then I showed them his tweet. The backpedaling was worthy of a 3-ring circus. I've never laughed harder. Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't go, well, he's just one of them coons. He's an Uncle Tom. Which, by the way, is the way Democrats say the N-word. They don't even have the balls to just drop an N-bomb. They don't. It's funny. It's what they mean. Don't tell oppressed people how to grieve, monkey. Yeah. That was in quotes. She wasn't saying that to me. They're not oppressed. They're not. That's not to say that they don't live in a shitty area that could use some money infused into it. You know what doesn't help? Burning the place down. All of these sons of bitches on Twitter, and I'm sure some of you know who I'm talking about, that are cheering this stuff because we need racial justice. They're not going to get the fuck in there and fix this shit when it's all done. But they're going to tell you how good they are because they support it. I support these people destroying every chance they have at a better life. I support these people destroying the future of their children for at least a decade to come. That's all great. I've heard more leftists drop N-bombs than I have actual racists. No joke. Yeah, I'm with you. They won't sing it in a song though. Monk, have you ever lived amongst blacks? Yeah. Yes, I have. I have been a minority, my friend. A vast minority, actually. It's funny, if you look at some of my yearbook pictures from those times, I'm not kidding. I am the only white face on the page. Have you played GTA 5? Franklin's story was about black guy trying to get out of the hood and the hood pulling him back. Yeah, there's some of that, and I understand. There's some of that in GTA San Andreas. I mean, God, what the hell's the protagonist's name? CJ. CJ left the hood, and they were all mad at him for it. How dare you try to get out of here? Should have stayed here and helped the family. Grove Street, baby. Yeah, it's just asinine. It's asinine. You're cheering what you think you're, or at least what you claim you're against. Like they can't get good jobs. Well, how do you think that's going to work out now? How do you think that's going to work out now? Seriously. Lived amongst blacks. This is a wildlife documentary. No, I knew what he meant. I knew what he meant. Yes, I've lived in black neighborhood. And yeah, there were no problems. Have a good night, Blondie. She's going to bed, y'all. We have Harry Potter telling J.K. Rowling that doctors say people with periods are not necessarily women. We have Ben Shapiro being ripped because he doesn't want to have to think about politics while he's watching a ball game. And then you have this guy who I'm sure if this blows up in any kind of way, will get called all kinds of racist names by the very people who are telling me we need to end racism in this country. It's a weird world we live in. It is a very weird world. And I worry about it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm worried about this world right now. And I'm not like going to be a prepper and go live in the woods and shit. Because I think society as a whole will be okay. We'll be able to, for the most part, go about our business for a while, at least through my lifetime, or until I'm old enough not to give a shit. A word for it for my grandchildren, though. Worried for and for the children. No, I'm being serious. Deadly serious right now. All of them. This is the world that we're building for them, and we're cascading towards stupid. We've gone full Wile E. Coyote. There's a rock right there with a painting on it, and we are going as fast as we can into it. There should be the pendulum, but it doesn't exist anymore because we don't have the free press. And I know I come back to this a lot. I actually saw an article yesterday, I think it was either yesterday or the day before, arguing that we never should have had a press that tried to pretend to be unbalanced because it was a failed, they actually called it a failed experiment to have an unbiased press. What they really meant to say is if we're unbiased, then the other side gets a chance. Right now, the left controls the media, so there's no reason for them to let the right have a say. And that's where social media comes in. So for all of those, you're like, how can you possibly like Twitter, monkey? Well, Twitter's one of the places that the left gets put in check. It really is. It might take a day or so, but it's where they get put in check. It's where their lies come out. And it's where the the normal media gatekeepers can't stop you. Now, you do have people like Twitter who will not let you say certain things, and you do have to play within their rules, but you can do a lot within their rules. And from there, yeah, something else needs to be built, and people need to come together to support something else. But here's you people who keep making alternative media, stop making it look like shit. Why do you always have to make it look like garbage? There's so many of these that I don't use that has nothing even to do with the way they work. It's just, it looks like shit. It's like, this is absolute garbage. This looks like a 4th grade science project. What are you doing? Did you let AOC help you build this? 12 million raised for George Floyd Memorial Fund. Come on, people. You know, that's another one that's been going on. The argument over George Floyd and who he is. George Floyd was not a good man. George Floyd was high as fuck when he was murdered. But it is possible for both George Floyd to be a shitbag and for him to have been murdered in a way he didn't deserve to die. And that's what happened. He was absolutely murdered. And you don't have to celebrate either the cop or George. It's okay to think they're both shitty people. Don't let people tell you otherwise. Don't let people tell you this is either a BLM thing or it's a bullshit. They're trying to just get the cop bullshit. The cop was a bad guy. All 4 of them. There was no need for what they did. It absolutely brought about his death. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. Mr. Coyote utensils have been replaced by a garden hoe. That reminds me of him like having a parachute, but it turns out to be a anvil. I don't know why that just popped in my mind. Him getting killed doesn't erase his criminal past. That's true. But it also doesn't erase him getting killed. It's pay back the looted small businesses. Faithless, you know that shit's not going to happen. You know that's not going to happen. They're going to take that and they'll make a scholarship fund with $3 in it, and the rest of it will go to a statue or something in his honor, and then the rest of it will go pocketed by the people who oversee it, the administrators. And it wasn't a racist act. Well, see here, we don't know if it was a racist act. That's one of the biggest lies of this whole thing. Right now, we have no indication that it was racist. We don't. We haven't seen the body cam footage from the officers who were right there. They may have been saying horrifically racist things to him while he was down there. But as far as we know, that's not the case. As far as we know, this didn't have anything to do with race. So the fact that a race riot broke out because of it is absolutely fuck them. It was an act of indifference and callousness. I think that's probably true, Faithless, but given that they moved it up to a charge of murder too, there's got to be something else. There's got to be something else. Murder 2 in Minnesota requires either intent or for another criminal act to be taking place. So if you're robbing somebody and you end up killing them, you can be up for murder 2. They didn't add an additional charge. So that's probably not it. So it's got to be intent. Unless they're going to say he absolutely knew that he was there for 9 minutes and he did it just to kill him, which is going to be hard to prove. I mean, that's one way you could go for it. I'm wondering what was said to him. I'm wondering if there was something said to him or if they found a tie. We do know these. Well, it's been reported. I don't know if it was ever verified. We do know it was reported that these two knew each other, or at least worked in the same establishment. Chauvin worked as an outside guard at a bar where Floyd worked as an inside guard. I don't know. There's something else going on that we don't know about, or that murder 2 charge is an absolute overreach. Absolute overreach. Murder 3 is a given. Now, it doesn't mean, he would be found guilty, because you can never tell what the jury's going to do. But looking at the situation, murder 3 is a given. Murder 2 is a stretch unless there's something we're missing. Unless there's something we're missing of what was said to him, or them knowing each other. Chicago Mike, thank you. My super chat about the Jewish sports hero was an airplane reference. I don't know who's Jewish in sports and who isn't, and it shouldn't matter. No, I get you. I don't remember it from Airplane, but I know I'd heard it before. I thought I'd heard it in a joke, or in the Totally Gross Joke books from the 80s, but yeah, I didn't think anything bad about you, Mike. You're good. This whole damn thing is fishy. I don't think the whole thing is fishy. I think the reaction is fishy. And I think the reaction has nothing to do with George Floyd and everything to do with Donald Trump. I think everything to do with Donald Trump. I think the Democratic Party right now is panicking hard. They were positive, absolutely positive, that if the economy crashed, Donald Trump would be blamed and things would go to hell. Instead, COVID comes along and does crash the economy, and Trump's numbers picked up. They're like, uh-oh. Because when you go into an election against an incumbent, as the Democrats are with Biden, you need the economy to be bad. Even with a bad economy, it's not a guarantee you're going to win, but you need the economy to be bad. And so they were praying for it, hoping for it. And then they got it. And then the polls came out and they went, fuck. And then you get this, where there's this video that we all see that causes a visceral reaction, causes people to actually see a man get murdered. And that's not easy to watch ever. And you see this man slowly choked out there, where his last words are him gasping for his mom, begging for just a drink of water or something, and asking for his mom. And then you just see him go dead. People screaming, check his pulse. His nose is bleeding. Get off him. You're killing him. And the officers don't move at all for 8.5 minutes. And they go, oh, we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity, you guys. We can bring up the race thing. Because Donald Trump, of course, well, he's a racist, don't you know? He's a racist. Democrats have never had a problem with Donald Trump in the past. No, not till 2015, when he decided he was going to run as a Republican. And then they're like, oh, he's a racist, you guys. Suddenly he became the biggest racist ever. And every word he ever utters is something that a racist once said. It's actually funny watching that. Thank you, Snubber. They still think by the polls, Texas will go blue and cost him the election. Texas could go blue. But if they're only taking their polls in Austin, that they're going to be shocked again. Texas has gone blue before. I don't know if how they voted in the election, but they've had Democratic governors before out there. So it's not that big of a stretch for them to go blue, especially if they just dislike Trump. That's going to be the biggest problem for Trump. It's not going to be people voting against him. It's going to be people who are like, I'm not voting for him, so they just stay home. People are moving to Texas to flee California. That's true. That's been a thing going on for a few years now, and most of them are settling around the Austin area, and it's become a really, really big blue area. Trump was a Dem until 2015, tells you all you need to know. Well, yeah, he's not a strong Republican. He's really not. I'm not really sure what they're mad about, other than the fact that Hillary lost. And yes, the Supreme Court nominations, those were definitely of a conservative bent. But most of what he's doing, I mean, building the border wall, this is shit that Clinton talked about. This is shit that Obama talked about. Securing that border, we need to get it done. But because Trump said it, nope, can't have that. That makes him racist. Obama's not racist for wanting to secure the border. Clinton's not racist for it. Trump is. And yes, I know George Bush said it too, but these are Democratic presidents who said this shit openly. It's not like it was a secret. It's not like they were caught on a hot mic saying it. They said this in speeches, in State of the Union addresses. And we need to fix this shit. But no, Trump doing it. That's when it becomes racist. It's such a clusterfuck. And it really, really is a weird thing. But I'm not really surprised by it either, man. They were so pissed at Hillary losing. Trump winning wasn't the problem. It was Hillary losing. That's what it's all about. And he's got to be punished for that. He needs to be punished. That's why you see the hatred you do. Because they hated Bush. Don't let anybody tell you different. If you're too young to remember, they absolutely fucking hated Bush. The people in the streets, they weren't kind. They weren't like, oh, we love you, Mr. Bush. They fucking hated him. They said the same shit. He's never going to leave office. He was a fucking horrible racist. He let Katrina be as bad as it was because he hated the Negroes down there in Louisiana. That's what we were told. So don't let them pretend that this is just Donald Trump. They're talking about like this. Because suddenly George Bush has become one of their favorites, man. They love him. And, unless Ellen hugs him. They absolutely love him because he's not going to vote for Trump, you guys. He's one of the good ones. He's one of the good ones. They're fucking retarded. But even as bad as they were with Bush, what's going on with them and Trump is psychotic. I don't know if there's another word for it. It's psychotic. They need help. They absolutely need help. George Bush was a total globalist. Of course he was. Most of our presidents have been. Trump's not. He is, but he wants it more on a America first kind of thing. We have a lot of presidents, like Obama was a globalist. He wanted us to bow down to the rest of the world. There's a lot of Democrats who want us to, what's the word I'm looking for here? Lower ourselves. They want to want us to not be as powerful as we are. We need to be just like every other. No nation should be more powerful than another one. Go fuck yourself. Ann Richards, that was her name, the Democratic governor of Texas. She was there for a little while too. She was a fiery little weirdo. Kowtow. Yeah, well, no, not kowtow. I get what you're saying there, Evolved Potato, but no, they actually wanted us to lower ourselves to them. Like we shouldn't be as rich as anyone else. We got to give away all our money so that we are equal with everyone else. It's fucking retarded, man. They want to end Pax Americana. They want globalism. They want universal communism. It's weird. We really do have World War II playing out in a political way instead of a violent way these days. You have Merkel basically taking over the continent of Europe. Don't worry. It's really Brussels, you guys. It's not actually Merkel. Yeah, right. And now you have communism coming up behind it to take over everything. We got to all be equal. Gamer Vleen, thank you. Don't hate on my idol B-Day buddy. He gives no Fs. I would love to be happy playing with the plastic poncho. My work email has a Bush quote. Bush was a tard. He did some things good. He did some things horrible. I don't care about him tripping over his words and shit. I mean, people do that, but he was a dumbass panderer just like everyone else. Pandered to the unions just like everyone else does. We haven't had an actual conservative president, in my lifetime. They talk a good game on the way in, don't they? They talk a great game on the way in. And then it comes time to lead, and they're like, oh, the press gave me bad coverage. I better capitulate to the Democrats and just do what they want. Might as well have had Democratic presidents. The only exception to that is when it comes to the use of military force. Not that the Democrats haven't been willing to use it. It's just that the Republicans have been willing to go a little farther. Clinton liked to bomb aspirin factories from the sky, and Obama liked his drones, but they've all been militaristic. It's amazing if you pay attention how much they're alike. It really is. That's why I was talking with somebody earlier, and it doesn't much matter who wins this election. I want Trump to win right now just because I want to watch the reaction, but I'm not a fan of Trump. He's not like out there pushing ideas that I'm for. He gets the wall built, that would be great, but otherwise, I mean, he's spending way too much fucking money. Way too much money. And I'm not talking about the stimulus thing because, I mean, that was kind of necessary at the time. But even before then, just spending money left and right that we don't have. I kind of enjoy what he's done with some of the diplomacy stuff. I'm not real up on whatever his deals have been with China to know if they're worth a fuck or not. I should look more into that. I liked him showing Kim Jong-un that he's a bitch and then going and being friendly with him because that's how you do it. But you still keep an eye on him, and if he gets out of line, then you smack him. But otherwise, I mean, when it comes to policies and stuff, I can't point to something that Trump is for that I'm like, yeah, that's what we need. And as far as Biden coming in, if he becomes president, I don't think he's going to be some left-wing radical. Biden's an old school corporate Democrat. That's what he's going to do. He might try to get Obamacare made a little bit bigger, but I mean, that's coming anyway, guys. You might as well get used to it. We will have universal health care probably within a decade or so, just because the system was set up specifically for that. Obamacare was set up to have people want universal health care. Obama was a single payer guy. He lied about it during the election. He was asked, aren't you for single payer? He goes, no, of course the fuck no. I'm not for that commie bullshit. But there's video of him talking about being for single payer. Shh, don't tell people that. Don't tell people that. So instead of actually setting up any kind of system that would work, they set up a garbage system, an absolute garbage system that you would have had to been fucking retarded to think was actually going to make anything better. And they sold it to people, and people are very passionate for one reason, pre-existing conditions, which you could have done anyway if you really wanted to. You could have done that without the individual mandate. Unfortunately, that would have pushed some insurance policies way expensive. All of them would have gone up, just like they all did. Because when you increase the risk, you have to increase the pool of money. And that system was designed to fail. And if you don't think that's true, then you're an idiot. Sorry, you're an idiot. Obamacare was designed to fail. And it was designed to fail so that people would beg for the government to come in and take care of everything. Because you get that. If you make the system bad enough, people will come in and ask the government to fix it. It's just what happens. Because people can't deal with fixing things on their own. Big Daddy government's got to come fix it for them. They've been taught that's what the government's for. The government's there to fix your problems. They're really it's not what they're supposed to be. Monkey, you believe bailing out banks, hedge funds, and big business was necessary? No. I think it would have hurt really bad for us to have done that or to not do that. But I think that was it should have been what happened. We should have dealt with the consequences of what happened there. Would it have been hard? Yes. Would it have taken longer to recover? Absolutely. But we can't go bailing out everything just because. It's too big to fail. That's not my problem. It's not capitalism unless it's too big to fail. It's capitalism. If it fails, it fails. Something else pops up. I'm not a government come save the day kind of guy. I'm Now, with COVID, the only reason I make the exception with COVID is because people were not allowed to go back to work. It wasn't their fault. The government made them stop working. And when that happens, then yes, it's absolutely incumbent upon them to take care of them, to do something for them. And it wouldn't have been a problem if we weren't already $20 trillion in debt. If we were only $2 trillion in debt and we bumped it up to $5 trillion, no big deal. Or bump it up to what's the total we've spent on COVID right now? Like, is it $3.5, $4 trillion, something like that? Between the different phases. Yeah. So we're at a rate that's unsustainable, but we're full speed ahead, man. We need an actual conservative to come in, and we need actual conservatives in Congress who say, you know what? We will raise taxes. We're going to raise taxes. And we're going to cut spending. We're going to cut the fuck out of spending. These people love to talk. There's so much money spent on the military. The military is a small portion of our budget. The vast majority of our budget is discretionary or entitlement spending. You have discretionary entitlement and then just entitlement. There are actually two different flavors of entitlement spending. Military falls under the discretionary. The discretionary budget is what, 1.5 trillion, something like that. About half of it goes to the military. The rest of it goes to entitlement programs. And then you look at the rest of the federal budget, which is another, $2.5 trillion. And the vast majority of that is entitlement spending. The government doesn't do enough for us. The government does way too much. Way too much. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to wrap up here because, guys, I am feeling it. I'm feeling it. But I did want to thank you for coming and hanging out tonight. I told you this would be a short one, but I hope it was still entertaining. Thank you for the donations. You guys are amazing, and I love you. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Have a good one, and we'll see you next time. I don't know what to